Stop everything you're doing. The Golden Shield is officially cracking. For years, the headlines have been about rallies and polls, but nah, the reality is hitting the inner circle like a freight train. We are talking about a legal storm that doesn't care about cable news appearances. If you think the drama ended with the election, you are dead wrong. This is the moment the world has been waiting for, and it's starting right now. Donald Trump's family and his closest allies built their lives around one thing: protection. But what happens when that protection evaporates? Prosecutors have been patient, they've preserved the evidence, and they've been waiting for the political pressure to drop. The fallout isn't just going to stop with one person, it's going to swallow everyone who stood too close to the flame. Let's look at the facts. Trump's children Ivanka, Don Jr. and Eric aren't just distant relatives, they were the decision makers. They ran the companies, they signed the documents, and courts have already ruled that those businesses engaged in fraud. Judges have stated clearly that asset values were lied about. That evidence doesn't just go, it sits there, waiting for the right moment. People assume that a federal pardon is a get-out-of-jail-free card for everything. But here's the shocking truth. Pardons don't cover state crimes. They don't erase civil liability. And they certainly don't protect against future investigations. From New York to Georgia, the legal gears are grinding back into motion, and this time, there might not be an escape hatch. Trump has always obsessed over total control, replacing officials, attacking judges, and demanding absolute loyalty. But why? Because he knows that once he's no longer in charge, executive privilege collapses. Former allies who thought they were safe are suddenly realizing they have to protect themselves and their own families. When the shield drops, the silence breaks. History tells us exactly how this ends. When the political protection goes away, loyal associates suddenly become potential witnesses. Cooperation deals get signed, and whistleblowers emerge from the shadows. You can't claim ignorance when your name is on the legal documents. The inner circle is realizing that in the real world, accountability always finds a way. But it's not just about jail time, it's about the money. The Trump business empire is facing litigation that could last a decade. We are talking about financial ruin that could strip away the very wealth that built the dynasty. The lawyers who push garbage theories and the donors who move questionable money are all being dragged into the light. The cost of loyalty is finally coming due. While everyone is focused on Washington, the real danger is lurking in the state courts. Federal authority cannot stop a state-level prosecutor from moving forward. In places like Manhattan and Fulton County, the dockets are already filled with investigations that don't care about a presidential shield. This dual-track legal pressure is like a pincer movement, closing in from both sides. In the world of high finance, the paper trail is king. Thousands of pages of tax returns, bank statements, and internal memos have already been handed over to investigators. You can't argue with a signature on a fraudulent loan application. Prosecutors are meticulously connecting the dots, and when the full picture is revealed, it might be the most documented case in American history. Let's talk about the legal fees. Defending against dozens of civil and criminal cases costs millions of dollars every single month. Even for a billionaire, this kind of sustained legal warfare is a massive drain on resources. We are seeing a strategy of attrition where the goal is to wear down the opposition through endless court dates and motions. How long can the empire hold out? Behind closed doors, the mood is shifting. We are hearing reports of high-level advisors seeking their own legal counsel. Why? Because in a conspiracy case, the first one to cooperate usually gets the best deal. The loyalty that once defined the Trump circle is being tested by the very real threat of personal liability. It's every man for himself as the storm approaches. And then there's the 14th Amendment. Some legal scholars argue that certain actions could trigger Section 3, the insurrectionist clause. While the Supreme Court has been cautious, the debate is far from over. This constitutional battle could determine who is even allowed to hold office in the future. It's a legal minefield that has no clear exit strategy. The world is watching how America handles this. Our allies and our rivals are all looking for one thing. Does the rule of law actually apply to the powerful? If the system fails to hold people accountable, it sends a message to the entire globe. But if the prosecution succeeds, it proves that in a democracy, no one is above the law. The stakes are truly global. Public opinion is more divided than ever. For some, this is a necessary pursuit of justice. For others, it's a political witch hunt. This polarization is exactly why the courts are trying to be so deliberate. One wrong move could spark massive social unrest. The justices aren't just weighing the law, they are weighing the stability of the entire nation. What happens to the Trump brand after all this? The name that was once synonymous with luxury is now tied to courtroom drama. From hotels to golf courses, the business impact is real. If the family loses their ability to operate in New York or other major hubs, the dynasty itself could collapse before the 2028 election even begins. For years, the main strategy has been delay, delay, delay. But judges are losing their patience. Deadlines are being set, and appeals are being exhausted. You can only stall for so long before you run out of road. We are reaching the end game, where a final verdict is no longer a distant possibility, it's an imminent reality. The media circus is only going to get louder. Every court filing is being dissected by thousands of analysts. This constant spotlight makes it impossible for the legal team to operate in secret. Every mistake is magnified, and every victory is scrutinized. In 2026, the court of public opinion is just as influential as the court of law. Will we see high-profile figures entering witness protection or making secret deals? It sounds like a movie, but in cases involving this much power and money, nothing is off the table. The pressure to flip is immense when you're facing decades of litigation. One key witness could bring the entire house of cards down in a single afternoon. The Supreme Court is in a historical bind. If they rule too far in one direction, they risk losing their own legitimacy. If they don't rule at all, the country stays in chaos. The 9 justices are looking for a narrow way out, but in a case this big, there's no such thing as a small decision. Their legacy is on the line just as much as Trump's. As the midterm elections approach, these court cases will be the #1 talking point. Every candidate will be asked, do you support the prosecution or the defense? It's going to be a litmus test for the future of the Republican and Democratic parties. The courtroom has officially become the new campaign trail. Ultimately, this is about the precedent we leave for the next generation. If the system works, it reinforces the foundation of the republic. If it fails, it changes the rules of power forever. We are at a crossroads where the definition of American justice is being rewritten in real time. This is history in the making. Don't forget the evidence we haven't seen yet. Secret recordings, encrypted messages, and private emails that are currently under seal. When these are finally played in open court, the public's perception could change in an instant. The silent evidence is often the most damaging, and it's about to be heard. 11 years ago, it all started on a golden escalator. Today, it's moving toward a cold, gray courtroom. The journey has been unlike anything in American history. But the laws of gravity applied to every hat goes up must eventually face the reality of the ground. The descent has begun, and there's no stopping it now. This case is a warning to leaders everywhere. In a digital age where every action is tracked and every document is saved, there is nowhere to hide. The world is becoming more transparent, and the old ways of avoiding accountability are disappearing. America is leading the way in this new era of judicial scrutiny. We are at the end of our deep dive, but the story is just beginning. The shield is dropping, the evidence is ready, and the world is waiting. What side of history are you on? Is this the end of an era, or just the beginning of a new one? Comment justice or politics below, like this video, and subscribe for the most honest updates on the web. I'm out.